One contractor pays about $25 for a Google guaranteed lead. Another contractor, same trade, same spot at the top of Google, pays over $160. That gap is not luck. Most of it comes down to a few settings inside a dashboard most contractors never open, plus one phone habit almost nobody fixes. I'm Sohail. I run SF Web Tech, and I pulled benchmark data covering 888 contractors and about $6.7 million in tracked ad spend. Here's the plan. Real costs, trade by trade. Then the only math that matters, cost per booked job. And the honest answer on when to run this yourself. First, a quick reset, because Google renamed this whole thing while nobody was watching. Google Guaranteed is the ad unit at the very top of Google when somebody searches a local trade. The official name is Local Services Ads. In October of 2025, Google replaced the green Google Guaranteed badge with a blue Google Verified badge. And they killed the $2,000 money-back guarantee for homeowners along with it. So the old name is dead. Everyone still searches for it anyway. Now the mechanics. You pay per lead, not per click. Somebody has to actually contact you before Google charges you. The badge itself has no monthly fee. A lead counts as a call, a message, or a booking request. And file this number away. Over 90% of these leads arrive as phone calls. That detail comes back later, and it's going to sting. All right, the numbers. Everything here comes from one benchmark dataset. 888 contractors, $6.72 million in spend, 126,650 leads. The blended average is $53 per lead, but averages hide the story, so trade by trade. Electrical, around $39. Landscaping, also around $39. General contractors, about 54. HVAC, roughly 51 to 80 across two datasets. Plumbing, 57 to 69. Fencing, around 71. Remodelers, roughly 100. And that one is a single agency's rough estimate, so hold it loosely. Then there's roofing, the wild card. $55 to $95 per lead in the big data set, depending on your metro. Other published data puts it north of 150. And in storm markets, it has gone past 200. Your market moves the number too. The same trade runs about $30 in a small market and $90 or more in a competitive metro. Now the comparison that surprises people. Regular Google search ads for these same trades cost about double. $53 here versus $104 on search ads. Roofing search ads average around $228 per lead against $55 to $95 on local services. So per lead, this is some of the cheapest local demand money can buy. But per lead is the wrong scoreboard. Hold that thought. So why do two contractors in the same trade pay such different prices? Your spot on the page comes from an auction, but it is not highest bid wins. Google publishes its ranking factors. Responsiveness. If you miss calls, your ranking drops. Review score and review count, which now come entirely from your Google business profile. Proximity to the customer. Photos. And profile completeness. Then come the settings almost nobody opens. Bid mode. You can let Google maximize leads, set a target cost per lead, or set a manual cap on the most you'll pay for one. Most contractors never touch it. Weekly budget. Google recommends enough to cover about 10 leads a week and about 2 weeks for the system to learn. Starve it and it never learns. Job types. Uncheck every job you don't want because Google no longer refunds wrong job type leads. Service areas, same story. No refunds for out-of-area leads either. Business hours. And a toggle called Direct Business Search, on by default. It charges you for leads from people who searched your business name, people who already knew you. Decide on purpose whether that stays on. Quick warning. Missed calls are a double penalty. You still pay for the lead you missed, and your ranking drops, which raises the price of every lead after it. One bad week bills you twice. Now the number this whole channel exists for. Nobody cashes a lead. You cash booked jobs. In the benchmark data, about 44% of local services leads turn into scheduled appointments. That's the average. The best one in 4 contractors books, 60% or better. The worst one in 4 books under 25. Watch what that does to identical leads. Picture 2 contractors, both paying $51 a lead. At a 25% book rate, it takes 4 leads to book 1 job. 4 leads at $51 each is $204 per booked job. At a 60% book rate, the exact same leads cost $85. Same channel, same lead price. A 2.4 times difference, built entirely on how the phone gets answered. And remember, Over 90% of these leads are phone calls. Yet somewhere between 1 in 7 and 1 in 4 calls to home services businesses goes unanswered. And fewer than 3% of callers who hit voicemail leave a message. They just dial the next contractor. And even with all those missed calls baked in, the dataset's bottom line looks like this. $233 average cost per paying customer, against an average ticket of $1,826. Quick reality check on refunds, because the rules changed. Manual disputes died in July of 2024. An automated system now reviews your leads and credits invalid ones on its own, usually within 30 days. Contractors typically see about 6 to 7% of spend come back. Here's the catch. No more credits for wrong job type or outside your service area. Your settings are your lead quality filter now. So do not budget, assuming you can dispute your way out of bad leads. That door is closed. One more thing, and most articles on this are already out of date. Starting August 2026, Google begins folding local services ads into the main Google Ads platform. It becomes a performance max campaign with pay-per-lead goals, and home services companies in the United States are the first wave. What stays? You still pay per lead. The placements stay. The verified badge carries over. What goes away? Manual per lead bidding. And weekly budgets, which get converted to daily budgets, divided by 7. One warning. Historical reports do not transfer, so download your lead data before you get migrated. The good news is that every lever in this video survives the move. Budget, job types, service areas, reviews, and answer rate. So, should you run this yourself? Here's the honest verdict. Yes, if 4 things are true. Your trade has a real local services category. You can fund roughly 10 leads a week at your trade's cost per lead. You have solid Google reviews, and somebody actually answers your phone nearly every time it rings. Think twice if leads in your metro run hot, if your book rate is low, or if nobody owns the phone. Because at a 25% book rate, the math we just did turns ugly fast. And if you'd rather never open that dashboard, that is literally my job. At SF Web Tech, local services ads is one of the 4 channels we run inside our appointment guarantee. We handle the settings, the bidding, the reviews, and every single call gets answered, so none of this ever lands on your plate. Here's the guarantee. 30 to 50 booked appointments on your calendar in 90 days, and if we fall short, we keep working for free until you get them. If you want to know whether we'd take your company on, go to sfwebtech.com and book a call. Want to see the whole 90-day system, week by week? That video is on your screen right now. And if honest math like this helps you buy leads smarter, subscribe. Every video here turns a marketing channel into dollars and cost per booked job.